Welcome back to Open Line. We have with us Tim Takacs, elder law attorney, talking about caring for a loved one as they get older. Perhaps you yourself have questions about a will or paying for the cost of a nursing home or whatever the case may be. He's taking your calls. We encourage you to call in. Let's go to Ann, a different Ann, yes, on line one. Hello, Ann.
Yes, hello.
Go right ahead. What's on your mind?
Okay, I draw less than $8,000, and I'm on Medicare and Medicaid, and I have severe health problems, and I live in a government apartment, but I do not wish to go into no nursing home. I have no immediate family, and I was wondering if I could qualify for any type of choices, like someone come and at night I have very poor vision. I have severe problems. I'm in right now I'm in heart failure, and at night I'm up trying to get eyes and eat, and can hardly walk and things. And I just wonder, is there anything on choices that I could get, like either someone stay with me at night, or help me, you know, during the day I get.
All right, well, let's talk about that.
Yes, exactly. So Ann she's living at home. Mm-hmm. She's on Medicare, which means either she's disabled, or under 65 and disabled, or over 65 and just drawing benefits. She's on Medicaid because she has a minimal amount of assets and income, and she is disabled, so that's like that allows her to draw. And what she's asking about is that, well, you know, how do I get on the Choices program without having to go to the nursing home? Now, Choices is a part of the Medicaid program, the TennCare Medicaid program, but it's the long-term services and supports part. So what Ann would have to do is to, if she is in the Nashville area, is to call the Greater Nashville Regional Council. I don't have the number here offhand, but maybe we can get somebody over there in the control booth or wherever it is or we can maybe we can look it up to see, you know, what the phone number is if she's in the Nashville area, because what she wants to start is basically tell them the same thing that she's told us.
Right, right.
Is that here's my situation. I'm living at home. I'm living in an apartment. You know, I need help. I need more help at home. I want to know whether I qualify for the Choices program, and that would be at home. So what they would do is that she could get up to about 30 hours a week of care at home. She doesn't have to go to a nursing home.
In fact, it is cheaper.
That's the choices in long-term services and supports that the state touts and says, you know, that's why we want to set, you know, we don't want to put all of our money into nursing homes. And like you're saying, it's cheaper for them to pay her to stay out of a nursing home, because one good fall or one good serious illness, you know, she'll be in a nursing home, and then it'll be $7,000 to $8,000 a month, which is TennCare is going to pay for.
So there is hope for her, that there would be something out there, right? Because it makes sense,
right? Right. And the Greater Nashville Regional Council, if she's in the Nashville area, they're going to not only talk to her about about qualifying for that program, but she should also ask about any other programs that she might be able to qualify for. And a lot of those are very local. So sometimes it depends on where you live. Greater Nashville Regional Council. We say GNRC.
Yeah, GNRC.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Ann, thank you for that call.
Absolutely.
I'm sure there are a lot of other people that have that same question. Let's go to Lolita. Hello, Lolita.
Yes.
Go right ahead. What's on your mind?
I had a question. I have, the home is in the state of Louisiana. It's my mother and my father's home. My father is deceased, but my mother is still with us. And I was wondering do we need to try to get the house signed over to the kids, or, you know, because if something happened to her, then we have to go through the state and the probate and all that?
Yeah. Well, I think part of that is that, okay, mom and dad passed, mom's still living in the house in Louisiana. And sometimes I will say is that, well, you know, maybe if she's done with it, maybe she gives it to her kids, but maybe sometimes that's not a good idea, because we're talking about now a 5-year look-back period.
Right.
You know, if mom gives her children the house, or she sells it, you know, and gives the children the money, then, you know, where's mom going to live? Don't assume that if you give your children your house that they're going to let you keep it.
Which is hard for a lot of people to believe. That is
hard for people to buy. It is disturbing, but you know, I haven't looked at the stats recently, but there's a large percentage of people who, you know, they're victims of elder financial abuse. You know, the abused person knows the abuser. You know, it's not like somebody calling you on the phone and scamming you out of money that you don't know. You know, it's often a family member that needs money, you know, and is able to get it, and it's like, well, I'll pay you back, you know, or something like that, and the next thing you know, the money is gone. You know, so I've always said, you know, I'm very reluctant to ever tell people to do that.
Right.
In fact, frankly, Ben, I can't remember the last time, you know, I've ever actually done, you know, actually drafted a deed where it says, okay, give your house to your kids. I mean, that's just not something that we're going to...
You're not big on giving the money to the kids or the house to the kids.
Right.
Bad things can happen.
Bad things can happen. You know, and mom's got a place to live. Okay, she gives the house to the children. All right, tax problems. You know, let's say she bought the house in Louisiana for $25,000, and now it's worth $300,000. She gives the house to the children, you know, and then the children sell it. That's a $275,000 capital gain.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a tax problem there alone. You know, whereas if mom dies and the children inherit it, there's no capital gain when the children sell. Because what happens is they get a step up for the what's called a step up in the tax basis. So there's a lot of really good reasons why, yeah, that giving money or property to your children is not a very good idea. Mostly it's trying to think about, you know, and we don't really have a lot of time to go into detail, but if let's say mom's children, you know, Ann's children came in, Lolita's children came in, we would kind of talk about, well, what do you think your mother's trying to accomplish? What are your goals here? Are there different or better ways to accomplish, rather than just giving money away or property away? That's really what's important, I think, is to really understand, you know, why are they trying, why is it important to do this now? Are they trying to avoid probate? I mean, there are ways to avoid probate that don't require you to give your stuff to your kids.
Right, and yeah. All right, let's go to Lucy. Lucy, always good to hear from you. How are you?
Fine, how are y'all?
Just fine. What's on your mind?
Well, I would try to pronounce Mr. Takacs' name, but I think I'm going to botch it up.
Yeah.
But I think I'm
going to
mess
well
up the word library easier than his name. I'm calling about the lady Ann that had called in about, you know, trying to get something on choices. I just want to say, if people don't know that there is a directory of services for senior citizens at your local public library. Go to the reference librarian or have a friend stop by, pick up 4 or 5 of them, and bring them back to the senior tower or something. But it is almost, the last time I got one, it was a little over ½ an inch thick. And it goes into all kinds of services that they've compiled in this directory.
Right.
And the last thing is, if she is the widow of a veteran, does she not qualify for those kinds of services? I'll take your comments off the air.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lucy.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, because you know, there is a very large, you know, that's published annually, a big white book that it's like paperback size, about this thick, and she can get it at libraries. She could probably call GNRC and they'll send you one. You know, they're available all over the place. You know, and it's a directory of services. You know, and so at the very least, you know, particularly for caregivers, because sometimes, you know, it's hard to assess, because, you know, sometimes it becomes difficult for older people to understand. I mean, because maybe they have some cognitive impairment or whatever, they can't get around, you know, but clearly, you know, that's one source of information. GNRC is another source of information, Greater Nashville Regional Council. Sometimes churches and other organizations like that maybe guide people into getting to the right place. Lucy mentioned a veteran's benefit, so if Ann if she's a veteran or a widow of a veteran, there may be a veteran's benefit that would be available to her that can help her pay for more help for care at home. So there are a lot of options that that are out there. And the challenge for the Anns of the world and others who don't have a caregiver, and that's the hard part is who's looking after Ann. Does she have is she what we call an unsupported elder? We don't like to call them orphaned elders because they may have a lot of friends, they just don't have enough support. So is she an unsupported elder? Does she need more support? And so there are those organizations that we just talked about and Lucy mentioned, that can help provide that support for her.
Let's take another call here quickly. Let's go to Betty Jo. Hello, Betty Jo.
Yes.
What's on your mind?
Well, what I'm asking about is the care at home. I need help with my laundry. It's more than I had before. And I'm helping out with great-grandchildren at times, period of times. And I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm 69. I'm not old, but I am getting a little bit tired of trying to do a lot. It's hard. It's just hard. My husband's 75, and he is partially blind, so he has a problem with his eyes. But I'm needing help, assistance with just little things. If I could help, just enough help to get me going.
Right.
I'm not sick all the time, but
just
I
a little
am
bit of help.
diabetic and I have neuropathy in my feet.
Yeah.
So it's rough to get up and walk and do a lot without having to sit down and then get up and sit down. I don't mind doing it, and I can do it. My children, I've got wonderful sons. I've got good children, but they have a lot too, and I don't interfere in it.
Right.
All right, well, let's talk about that.
So let's, for one, we can always go back and just as Lucy reminded us is that if Lucy is a veteran or her husband is a veteran, then she could go to let's say one of the Veterans Services offices, in one of the counties. There's basically a VSO, Veteran Service Officer, essentially in all of the counties in the state. So that would be a place if she qualified or he qualified for that they could as a starting point.
Good.
They could call the Greater Nashville Regional Council like I referred to, but the problem there is that it sounds like she needs a little help, not a lot.
Right.
And so in many cases, under those circumstances, people are really on their own. It could be that maybe what she needs is maybe she needs someone that comes in 4 hours a day for maybe a couple days a week. So now she's looking at a non-medical in-home agency. So somebody that comes in, and they typically do this in 4-hour blocks. So you can generally figure you're going to pay around $20 to $25 an hour.
Okay.
So you think about that is if there's someone's coming in 4 times a month, that's going to be around $400.
Right.
And that could be a very good investment. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but at the same time, that's $5,000 a year. And if that's the difference between you being able to stay at home, and not being able to stay at home, because maybe someone like the way Mary Jo, is that her name?
Right. Or Billy Jo.
Billy Jo. Maybe for her is, they could be looking at assisted living someday, but of course we all know, I mean, assisted living are probably for a married couple, it's going to be around $4,000 to $5,000 a month. And if they're able to stay in their home and pay maybe $5,000 a year, just to have enough little extra help, that may be a good investment for them to stay in their home longer.
All right, that's a very good question, Betty Jo.
It is.
Thank you, and good luck.
Yes.
With what you're going through. All right, we're going to take a break. Marilyn, Joan, others, hold on the line. We will get to your call, take a break, be back right after this.